Hello everybody, it's me Faith. This video I wanted to discuss Umlahlankosi. It is believed that when Jesus Christ was crucified, his crown of thorns was made from a plant species called Ziziphus spina-christi wild, also known in English as Christ thorn jujube. Ziziphus spina-christi wild can be found growing naturally in northern Africa and southwestern Asia, and it closely resembles Ziziphus mucronata, a species that is native to sub-Saharan Africa. In Zulu, Ziziphus mucronata is known as Umlahlankosi. The name Umlahlankosi comes from the fact that a long time ago, Nguni people, more especially Zulu and Swati people, would plant this tree at a gravesite where the chief would be buried, and it will symbolize the chief's final resting place. Hence the name Umlahlankosi, which loosely translates to that which buries the chief. Umlahlankosi is scientifically known as Ziziphus mucronata. The genus name Ziziphus is Latin for thorny, referring to the plant's paired, straight, and hooked thorns. Because of the thorns, the plant is also called wag-n-bietjie in Afrikaans, which means wait a bit. When you move next to the plant, the paired, straight, and hooked thorns will pull you back by your clothes or force you to stop and pull out the thorns, hence the name wait a bit. But for people who work in forestry, even the American bramble or the blackberry shrubs that grow in commercial forests as weed are also known as wag-n-bietjie. The species name mucronata is Latin for pointed, referring to the species' pointed, shiny, and light green leaves. Umlahlankosi's natural habitats include the tropical and temperate climates. It is distributed throughout the summer rainfall areas of sub-Saharan Africa, extending from South Africa all the way north to countries like Ethiopia and Senegal. The only place outside Africa where this plant grows naturally is Yemen, in the Arabian Peninsula in Western Asia. Umlahlankosi is a small to medium tree that grows up to 10 meters in height. The bark is variable. When the tree is young, the bark is typically red-brown and smooth. At maturity, the bark is rough mottled gray and often cracked in small rectangular blocks, revealing the stringy red underbark. The tree has star-shaped flowers that are densely clustered with fruits that are green when young and reddish-brown when ripe. The root and bark contain anthocyanins, which give the plant its high anti-sickling properties. The anti-sickling properties help prevent the sickling of the red blood cells. The sickling of the red blood cells is similar to what you get when someone has sickle cell anemia. The fruit contains saponins and flavonoids that give the tree its antifungal properties. The bark has tannin, which can be used as an astringent to treat diarrhea. The tree also has a lot of vitamin C. The vitamin C can be as high as 165 milligrams per 100 gram. This is over and above the recommended 30 milligram daily intake for adults. The cyclopeptine alkaloids give the tree antibacterial, antiplasmodial, and strong sedative properties. Other properties that have been reported include anti-cancer, anti-diabetic, anti-inflammatory, anti-malarial, antimicrobial, anti-ulcer, antipyretic, anthelmintic, and analgesic properties. The plant is considered very important for spirituality and traditional medicine. In African culture and tradition, there is a concept called ukubuyisa. Ukubuyisa is a Zulu word that means reuniting. God forbid someone you know gets in a car accident and then dies. But let's suppose that someone does get into a car accident and dies at the scene of the accident, protocol dictates that the officials will come and take the body to the morgue to be processed and prepared for burial, and the scene where the accident took place will be cleaned and any damage to infrastructure fixed. Even though the body has been taken away and is no longer at the scene, Africans believe that the person's spirit that has passed away remains at the accident scene. You might have heard of certain roads that are prone to accidents, like the N1 to Limpopo. Some people believe that the reason some of those roads have so many accidents is because of the spirits that are left on the roads after accidents have taken place. I remember driving to Elim with friends from Joburg, and we passed a guy who was in an accident. Luckily, everyone who was in the accident was alive and not badly injured. But the driver said he drove off the road because he didn't want to hit the person that had suddenly appeared on the road. But after the accident, they looked for the person and couldn't find them. And the guy was as sober as a judge. The ceremony of ukubuyisa is meant to carry the spirit of the deceased person from the place where they died or the scene of the accident to the final resting place. I will do a video on amatongo, but amatongo are a type of ancestral spirits. There are different types of ancestral spirits, just like there are different types of angels. It is believed that before a departed spirit can gain entrance into the body of amatongo, a ceremony of ukubuyisa must first be carried out for the person. The twigs of Umlahlankosi are often used in the ukubuyisa ceremony. The twigs are used to attract, carry, and guide the spirit of the deceased person from the place where they died to the final resting place. How the ceremony is carried out tends to differ among different groups of people, but in most cases, Umlahlankosi is often used to carry the person's spirit. A while back on YouTube, there used to be a video of this guy whose brother got in an accident. I think it was somewhere in KZN. The brother got in an accident, and then he was documenting fetching the brother from the accident scene back home. So he was using Umlahlankosi. I couldn't find the video again, but I'll search for it. And if I find it, I will add it on this on the description. It is also believed that Umlahlankosi never gets struck by lightning. So people tend to plant the tree to protect against lightning. The root, bark, leaves, and fruits are the parts of the tree that are used to treat a number of different conditions and diseases. Umlahlankosi is generally used to treat chronic cough, boils, toothache, rheumatism, swelling, gonorrhea, syphilis, cholera, and dysentery. Different countries in Africa use Umlahlankosi to treat the aforementioned diseases and conditions in different ways. In South Africa, the roots are used to make a decoction that's taken orally to treat toothache and general body pains. The bark is used to make an infusion that's taken orally to treat chest pains, bronchitis, and fever. The leaves and roots are used to make a decoction that's taken orally to treat syphilis. The leaves and roots are pulped and applied directly on the skin to treat wounds, sores, and boils. In Zimbabwe, the leaves and roots are used when making a steam bath to cleanse the skin and to give it a youthful appearance. The leaves and roots are also used to make a decoction that is taken orally to treat pneumonia. Additionally, the leaves and roots are crushed into powder and then the powder applied to treat boils, cuts, wounds, pimples, and skin rash. The roots are infused and the infusion taken orally to treat gastrointestinal ailments such as gastric ulcers and diarrhea. A mixture can also be made using the bark, twigs, and roots This mixture can then be applied on scarification or umngcabo to treat things like arthritis. In Tanzania, the roots are used to treat stomach and headaches as well as snake bites. In Zambia, the bark is used in the making of a decoction that's taken orally to treat chest pains. The roots are used to make an infusion that's taken orally to treat dysentery. And the leaves are used to treat gastric ulcers. In Senegal, the fruits are used to make an infusion that's taken orally to treat bilharzia. The leaves are soaked in water for a couple of hours and then the liquid taken orally to treat hypertension. The bark, roots, and stem are made into a decoction to treat syphilis and gonorrhea. In Nigeria, the leaves are pounded into powder and applied topically on the skin to treat wounds and boils. The bark is made into a decoction that's taken orally to treat diarrhea. In Niger, the roots are soaked in water and the liquid is taken orally to treat fever and gastric infections. In Namibia, a root decoction is made that's taken orally to treat vomiting and coughing with blood. In Kenya, the leaves and roots are used to make poultice that's applied on the skin to treat boils and skin infection. The bark is soaked in water and the liquid taken orally to treat an enlarged or swollen spleen. The bark is infused and the infusion taken orally to treat heartburn and abdominal pains. In Cameroon, the roots and fruits are used to treat stomach worms. The fruits are eaten and the roots infused into a drink. In Botswana, the leaves and roots are used to make a paste that's then applied directly on the skin to treat wounds, sores, and boils. To treat measles, the leaves and shoots are made into a decoction vapor that's used as an inhalant. In the Republic of Benin in West Africa, the roots and leaves are made into a decoction that's taken orally and also used when bathing to help calm the mind and boost brain power. This is helpful for people who have amnesia. In Angola, mouth and throat sores are treated with a root decoction that's used as a mouthwash. You drink the decoction and you don't swallow, instead you gurgle the same way you would gurgle a mouthwash. There are different ways of preparing the medicine obtained from the roots, bark, leaves, and fruits of Umlahlankosi. For example, infusions are prepared with a few spoons of pounded bark and approximately 1 liter of hot water. The infusion is then taken as an emetic for a chronic cough or respiratory ailment. Steam baths made with the bark are used to cleanse the skin and to give it a youthful appearance. To prepare the bath, add hot water in the bath and a spoon of the pounded bark. Let the mixture cool for a few minutes and then take a bath. Tea made with Umlahlankosi treats cough, chest ailments, swollen glands, lumbago, rheumatic complaints, and pain. One way of preparing the infusion is by steeping pieces of the bark in 1 liter of hot water for 10 minutes, allowing it to cool, straining it, and drinking approximately 125 ml doses of the liquid. Besides being such a useful spiritual and medicinal plant, Umlahlankosi is also a valuable source of food for browsing animals. The tree's fruits are nutritious and some people will dry and ground the fruits to make porridge and flour. The fruits can also be fermented and made into a traditional beer. The seeds can be used as a coffee substitute. Although this is very rare, it is practiced by some people. Leaves are also edible, especially the young ones, and in some cases, the leaves are cooked and eaten as a leafy green. The wood of Umlahlankosi is used for building things like a kraal for livestock, and it's also used as firewood and to make charcoal. People in rural areas use this tree to make an estimate of the level of groundwater in an area. An area where the tree grows naturally is believed to have good underground water. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, like the video if you like the video. Stay blessed and bye.